Hello, everybody. All right. Tonight's Thursday. Happy Thursday to everybody. I hope this is the 29th. So we're almost through June. We're almost halfway through 2023. Tomorrow will mark June 30th, of course, and we will be halfway through. And then, of course, don't forget tomorrow night I'll have Tim Olson on with me, as we will go ahead and be looking over comics that went on sale in November 1939 from Timely Comics, which is now known as Marvel, of course. Um, but with that, while we wait for some more people to come in, I'm going to go off camera here for a quick moment. If again, First off, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Now, as I said, before we get started, I'm going to give people a few minutes to come in, take care of a couple other things. I'll be right back. But while I'm gone, music on the rest. Alrighty then. Now that we're just past the 3 minute mark, why don't we go ahead and talk about what's on tap for tonight? Of course, we do have some news articles. I'm going to go over three of them tonight. Of course, Titan Comics announces new reimagined Cthulhu story. We'll be hitting that. Also, an interesting little thing. So somebody's come out with a Popeye Transformers stop motion animated short. We might check that crossover out. And Crunchyroll to add 15 Dragon Ball movies to their anime library, including Dragon Ball Dead Zone and Dragon Ball Super Broly. With all that, I guess we will get ready to go on the and then of course don't forget we have of course the wrestling wrap up. We'll go over what happened last night on Dynamite, as well as talk about what's coming up on this Saturday for Money in the Bank. See what's going on Ring of Honor's Honor Club and Impact Wrestling tonight, as well as of course this will be the last Impact before the Stars of Impact head over to Australia for their Australian tour. We'll probably go over that a little bit too. But without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started then? All right, so here's the first story we're going to cover tonight.
You can't make.
Anyway. Alrighty then, so let's go ahead and get started then here. Alright, so Titan Comics announces new reimagined, in quotes there, Cthulhu story, in smaller quotes, A Call to Cthulhu. Article by John F. Trent, published yesterday. Now, Titan Comics, I believe, is a comic distributor over in England, I believe, Great Britain. So, anyways, let's take a look at what's going on here. Titan Comics announced a brand new Cthulhu series titled A Call to Cthulhu from writer and illustrator Norm Conyu. In the press release, the publisher describes the story as part comic book, part art book, part children's storybook, quote unquote, that takes readers on a fun, irrelevant trip through classic stories of H.P. Lovecraft, unquote. Excuse me one moment. I forgot. Still trying to remember to do that. Did it last night, but then forgot to do it tonight. So I'm going to put the music on one more time. Do that. I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So, um, back to the article here. The official solicitation states, quote, even cosmic gods fear an unknown caller. When Cthulhu, the Great One, receives a phone call in the middle of the night, he is not prepared for the conversation that is about to take place, unquote. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Creator Norm Conyu teased the series, stating, quote, I'm really excited to get A Call to Cthulhu out to a wider audience with the help of Titan Comics. H.P. Lovecraft was a bit of a serious soul. So, after rediscovering his material, many, many years after originally reading it, I had an enjoyable experience cooking his Cthulhu mythos and other tales into an irreverent pseudo storybook. I hope readers enjoy the experience just as much. Unquote. Author H.P. Lovecraft created Cthulhu in his short story The Call of Cthulhu that was originally published in Weird Tales back in 1928. Wow, 1928. Wow, that's what? That's 95 years ago, I believe. Anyways, the creature was described by Lovecraft in the short story as, quote, a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head, whose face was a mass of feelers, a scaly, rubbery-looking body, prodigious claws on hind and forefeet, and long, narrow wings behind. That's somewhat of a picture of them, I guess. The hardcover book arrives on shelves on October 10th, 2023. It's 48 pages in length and will retail for $12.99. Do you plan on checking out this quote unquote reimagined Cthulhu story? I don't know, it was a pretty quick story to go through. Alrighty then, so. Alright, so with that. And again, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if, as I said, if anything grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Alright, so with that, get ready to go on to the next story then. Here's the next one that kind of caught my attention here. Wow, look at that. Look at that computer generated image of Popeye right there. That's kind of interesting. Popeye takes on Soundwave in fan-created Popeye meets Transformers stop-motion animated short. I mean, can you just imagine coming upon that conversation? I am. Oh, wait. I am what I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. You puny human, you will be destroyed. In the crossover no one saw coming, Popeye the Sailor Man teams up with Bumblebee and Optimus Prime to take on the villainous Decepticon Soundwave. Imagine Popeye running around in a Volkswagen Bug and or a cab over truck. Let's see. The stop motion short was shared to social media by its creator, D.M. Galloway, and features the voice acting of John Bailey. In his tweet here, Popeye meets Transformers. That's more to this. There's more to this Sailor Man than meets the eye. Nice combining the some of the voiced by Epic Voice Guy. Motion animation. As you can see above, Bumblebee and Popeye are ambushed by Soundwave, with Soundwave appearing to make short work of them, blasting Bumblebee off screen and giving Popeye a big kick to the gut that sends him flying into a conifer tree. Now, for those of you who may not know what a conifer tree, it's kind of like as I understand it, it's a tree that kind of looks a bit like a cone. It's kind of a pine tree, I think. It looks kind of like a cone. I believe that's what it is. The tree then whips Popeye back to the feet of Soundwave, where he pulls out one of his gun. I think it should say guns, and attempts to execute him. The blast impact sends Popeye flying into a nearby rock, where he attempts to gather his senses. Fortunately for Popeye, Bumblebee recovers from Soundwave's initial attack and lays down some cover fire. Soundwave brushes off Bumblebee's attack by deploying one of his spy cassettes. And there's the spinach, folks. There's the computer stop motion spinach right there. However, Bumblebee's interference allowed Popeye to bust out his secret weapon, a can of spinach, which he quickly gobbles down. The Sailor Man proceeds to pound Soundwave and begins ripping him apart. Oh man, just going to show you that green spinach outdoes Energon any day of the week, right? Let's see if anybody else joined me. Nope, of course not. All right, so let's continue on here. Let's see. A voiceover from Optimus Prime begins playing as Popeye trounces Soundwave, saying, quote, "I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Decepticons. He is strong to the finish because he eats his spinach. He is Popeye the Sailor Man." This isn't the first stop motion animation DM Galloway has put together. The animator has a number of stop motion videos on his YouTube channel, including Batman the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Superman vs. Terminator 2, Batman vs. Bruce Lee, the X-Men versus a Sentinel, and more. He even has a 3-part Justice Assembled film that features both the Justice League and the Avengers. Interesting. Man, I'm gonna just for the Popeye vs. Soundwave one alone, I'm gonna have to check out this guy's channel. What do you make of the stop motion short that sees Popeye team up with Bumblebee and Optimus Prime to take on Sound? Sounds kind of fun. Sounds like a fun watch. I may have, as I said, I may have to actually check it out. Popeye versus Soundwave. I'm gonna have to maybe check that out. And I might be thrown off by the fact that it's this guy named what did they say was voicing the characters here? Maybe thrown off that it's this guy John Bailey doing the voice of Popeye as opposed to Billy Costello or Jack Mercer, but any way you can find it, right? Or John Bailey over, let's say, Peter Cullen, or John Bailey over Dan Gilvezan, or John Bailey over Frank Welker. So. Anyways, that was a fun read as well. Okay, 20 minutes here. All right, so here's the third and final article we're gonna do tonight. Let's see, Crunchyroll, and there you got Goku right there, right on the front there. Crunchyroll to add 15 Dragon Ball movies to their anime library, including Dragon Ball Dead Zone and Dragon Ball Super Broly. Article by Nerdigans Inc. published yesterday. Crunchyroll is expanding their library with 15 animated features spanning 3 decades of Akira Toriyama's acclaimed Dragon Ball franchise, from the 1989's Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone to the 2019 blockbuster Dragon Ball Super Broly. You have the cast of Dragon Ball right there: Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, Future Trunks, Goku, Yamcha, um, Gohan, Tien Chiatsu from Chala Head Chala Dragon Ball. And right. Crunchyroll announced that all 13 Dragon Ball Z movies will be released in 3 batches. The first one of which has been available for streaming since Thursday, the 22nd of June, was last Thursday, a week ago. Fans should expect the second and third batches of releases on the 29th, or today, of June and 6th of July. So today and 1 week from today, I believe. The movies will be available in the United States, Canada, Latin America, Australia, and New Zealand. The announcement further declares, pointing out that viewers will be able to enjoy them in Japanese dub Japanese dub with English, Brazilian, Portuguese, and Spanish subtitles. Despite only offering the Japanese dub, fans have reported Crunchyroll's Dragon Ball movie collection consists of the old Funimation remasters and not Toei Animation's updated edition. Of course, because remember they bought up Funimation, so of course they'd be trying to get rid of Funimation's old stock. Despite being sub only, these use the old Funimation remasters rather than the newer Toei ones. Unquote. Twitter user at Anime AJ claimed. Quote, so you get subpar audio quality and overly contrasty and saturate visuals. I wonder if DBS Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly, will be tinted green too. And when they get there, laugh out loud. Which has been a big issue there, apparently, where I guess some of those older movies had a green tint to them. Hmm. Currently, fans can stream Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone, Dragon Ball Z World's Strongest, Dragon Ball Z Tree of Might, Dragon Ball Z Lord Slug, Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge, Dragon Ball Z Revenge of Cooler, and Dragon Ball Z Super Android 13 on Crunchyroll. Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone 1989. Synopsis. Quote, Garlic Jr.'s on the hunt and Gohan is on the hit list. Kidnapping the kid for his Dragon Ball. It seems the sadistic villain is on a quest to collect all 7. As Goku arrives prepared to save his only son, Garlic Jr. summons the eternal dragon, Shenron, prepared to wish for immortality, unquote. Quote, his ultimate goal, to take over the earth in order to seek revenge for the death of his father. With heightened powers and blessed with eternal life, not even the combined efforts of Goku and his friends can defeat Garlic Jr. now. And as the Fiend creates a dead zone, intent on sending the heroes into the void, their rescue may lie in the hands least expected. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z World's Strongest, 1990. Synopsis. Quote, Dr. Wheelo rises again. His cunning assistant has gathered the Dragon Balls amongst the frozen mountain peaks. The sinister Dr. Wheelo has been freed from his icy tomb at long last. But before these two mad scientists can take over the world with their biotechnology, the Doctor is in dire need of a mighty body in which to place his even more fearsome brain. Unquote. Quote, seeking out the most powerful fighters on the planet, both Piccolo and Master Roshi are brought before the deranged Doctor. Yet, just as their friends rush in to save them, it's revealed that Goku is actually the world's strongest. Things look grim as Dr. Wheelo turns friend against friend, as wits and will are matched. Unquote. See if got anybody new. Nope, I guess not. Somebody came in and liked at least, so thank you for that, people. Do appreciate that. All right. Oh, crud. Hey, I gotta go back and remind myself. No. Just accidentally erased something because I was a little too quick with my fingers here. That's why I'm. All right, so we got that taken care of. Back to the article here. All right, Dragon Ball Z Tree of Might, 1990. Synopsis: the Earth's destruction lies dormant within a single solitary seed, brought forth from the darkest reaches of space. The Tree of Might has been sown with the vilest of intentions, but once it takes root, nothing else can survive. Unquote. Quote, a plant designed to drain the energy of a planet, it steals the very essence of life, only to blossom in death and desolation. Unable to fell this mighty threat, Goku and the Z Warriors must instead confront the harbinger of the evil, a Saiyan bearing an uncanny resemblance to our hero, Turles. Quote, this new enemy kidnaps Gohan and sets the son against the father, a tragedy which only delays the inevitable fight, as Goku finally faces off against his deplorable double, Turles, turns to the thieving tree. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z, Lord Slug, 1991. Synopsis, quote, once again called upon to save their planet from disaster, Goku and Krillin race to head off a giant asteroid on a collision course with Earth. The threat deflected, their home is saved? Or is it? A greater menace looms in the shadows, a being so evil that he was banished from his old world and now seeks to create a new one of his own. Unquote. Quote, Lord Slug, prepared to dominate by freezing all opposition, seeks out the 7 Dragon Balls, fully restored to youth and more powerful than ever. The Z Warriors soon prove no match for this ancient enemy, a Namekian with abilities from lore and legend. As Goku fails, another must step up before all is lost. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z, Cooler's Revenge, 1991. Synopsis, quote, a quarter of a century after a chance encounter in space, fate looks to reunite 2 enemies on Earth. Goku, the planet's staunchest defender, looking forward to the peaceful reprieve of a camping trip, and Cooler, brother to the defeated Frieza, on a quest to avenge his family's honor. Unquote. Quote, backed by the frightful forces of his armored squadron, first Gohan and then Piccolo fall victim to Cooler's wrath. Satisfied with no less than the death of the Saiyan responsible for Frieza's demise, he seeks out Goku, prepared to destroy the entire planet to quench his thirst for vengeance. Oh, this guy's a real charmer, isn't he? Quote, as Cooler taunts Goku with his friend's destruction, the Saiyan must again accomplish what he has only achieved once before. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z, The Return of Cooler, 1992. Synopsis, quote, the planet of Namek was destroyed years before. A new Namek, having since been located and settled, during the intervening period, the inhabitants have enjoyed a time of peace. But as death approaches and threatens homeland horizons, Goku and the Z Warriors are called upon to save a world not their own. Unquote. Quote, more surprising than one planet which can devour another is the enemy's true face behind the evil enterprise. Just as seeing is believing, Goku and the others settle in to fight the once defeated Cooler and his forces. And yet, victory won't be so easy the second time around. As the Z Warriors are vanquished, one after the other, the fate of New Namek hangs in the balance. Unquote. I think this is the last one of the series of this first batch that was released last week. Dragon Ball Z Super Android 13, 1992. Synopsis. The peace of a routine day is shattered by violent explosions, with the citizens of the world trembling in terror. Goku knows that he is the target of the vicious assault, and the devastating power of the attacks can mean only one thing: androids. Unquote. Quote, a mysterious fiend is creating androids that are faster, stronger, and far more deadly than anything ever devised by the deceased Dr. Gero. Goku and the rest of the Z fighters will have to find the identity of the murderous mastermind if they are to halt the onslaught of the lethal inventions. Let's see, dropping on Thursday, the 29th of June, which is today. The next batch consists of Dragon Ball Z Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, Dragon Ball Z Bojack Unbound, Dragon Ball Z Broly Second Coming, Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly, Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, and Dragon Ball Z Wrath of the Dragon. Dragon Ball Z Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, 1993. This is, of course, the next batch that's coming out today. Quote, a mysterious messenger delivers horrific news. A vicious Super Saiyan is rampaging through space, and he will not stop until the galaxy is left smoldering. Goku and Vegeta rush to confront the menace, but the true danger is much closer than they think. Unquote. Quote, Broly is a force of unspeakable malice with powers that rage beyond control. And he has the Z fighters in his sights. Now, a race to save the universe turns into a test of survival for Earth's mightiest warriors. Prepare for the most intense Saiyan battle ever known. A clash for the ages rooted in the pains of a secret past. The story of legends at war. Unquote. Let me just see. 38 minutes. Dragon Ball Z Bojack Unbound, 1993. Quote, the infamous millionaire XS Cash is funding the most amazing martial arts tournament the universe has ever seen. The 4 tournament finalists must do battle, with warriors representing the 4 corners of the galaxy, in a decisive battle to see who gains the right to challenge the champ for the ultimate championship. So long before the ultimate challenge in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, we get this. Okay. Quote, but a ragged band of criminals have a scheme of their own. Take over the tournament and conquer the universe in the process. Their leader is the incredibly powerful Bojack, an evil menace who has broken free of his stellar confines. Unquote. Quote, with Goku incapable of helping eradicate the planet's latest threat and Earth's greatest heroes falling one by one, the young Gohan must look deep within himself to find the power to destroy the wicked invaders. Can Gohan summon enough strength to deliver the finishing blow? Unquote. Dragon Ball Z Broly Second Coming, 1994. Synopsis. Quote, an investigation into the crash of a strange vessel quickly turns into a battle that not even Earth's most powerful heroes are guaranteed to win. Broly, one of the greatest threats the universe has ever known, has returned, and this time Goku might be powerless to stop him. Unquote. Quote, Broly has gone insane from the hatred that boils inside him, and anger that burns hotter, and even the pits of the fiery underworld. The entire cosmos will suffer unless the sons of Broly's greatest rival can defeat him, and it will take nothing short of a miracle. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly, 1994. Synopsis. Quote, corruption and technology have united to resurrect one of the greatest forces of evil in the universe has ever known. Broly is back and more deadly than ever. Quote, this time, Super Saiyan may prove to be unstoppable. Dangerous experiment has gone to be unstoppable. Dangerous experiment has gone haywire, and a mysterious substance has been released from a secret laboratory. Using menace absorbs all in its path, gaining power from all that it touches. Unquote. Excuse me a moment. I'm going to go off camera here for a quick moment. I'll be right back as soon as I, of course, get to the right screen here. Gotta go off. All right, sorry about that. Anyways, let's get back to the article here. All right, so, quote, when the creeping slime ingests Broly, the uncontrollable combination threatens to devour the entire world. Trunks discovers a secret that could stop the symbiotic scourge, but it might be too late to prevent Earth's day of reckoning. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, 1995. Synopsis. Quote, the universe is ripped apart at the seams after an industrial disaster in Otherworld unleashes the monstrous Janemba, and the beast grows stronger with every moment. Quote, the turmoil reaches across dimensions, and the battle rages on two fronts. Goku and Vegeta unite in the fight for Otherworld survival, while Gohan and Trunks confront a ghoulish army of the undead on Earth. Unquote. Quote, with strength and fury, the warriors reach incredible heights of power, but it isn't enough. The dangerous plan of attack is devised, and only an unprecedented level of teamwork will deliver victory. Unquote. Dragon Ball Z Wrath of the Dragon, 1995. Synopsis. Quote, two strangers have appeared on Earth. One of them invites devastation. The other has the power to prevent it. Harsh sacrifices must be made to untangle the web of deception and threatens to blind the forces of good to an approaching evil. Unquote. quote, dark magic has released an ancient monster, Hirudegarn, um, that consumes both flesh and soul as it rampages on Earth. Its power threatens to multiply to unthinkable levels. Such wickedness, such wickedness can only be defeated by Tapion, a man who has already given so much and must now offer his very life to save the universe. Unquote. Oh, and they're just going ahead and just telling us everything here. Huh. So I don't know if I'll read the last set of. If I knew it was going to be this long, I don't think I would have read these synopses in whole, but I don't think I'll read these last ones because these are probably more recent, anyways. But you can always go and. So on Thursday, the 6th of July, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection Resurrection F and Dragon Ball Super Broly will be available to stream on Crunchyroll with English, German, and French subtitles, and English, German, and French dub audio in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, German, and French-speaking European countries, and Africa. All right, so it looks like the last set is just two of them, so maybe we'll go ahead and read the synopses on those then, because there's only two of them there. Dragon Ball Resurrection F 2015. Synopses. Even the complete obliteration of his physical form can't stop the galaxy's most evil overlord. After years of spiritual purgatory, Frieza has been resurrected and plans to take his revenge on the Z Fighters of Earth. Unquote. Dragon Ball Super Broly 2018. Synopsis. Goku is back to training hard so he can face the most powerful foes the universe have to offer, and Vegeta is keeping up right beside him. But when they suddenly find themselves against an unknown Saiyan, they discover a terrible destructive force. Unquote. At the time of this writing, Crunchyroll has not announced any plans to include the English dubbed versions of the 13 Dragon Ball Z films joining their anime library. There has been no mention of neither the original Dragon Ball movies, the OVA specials, Bardock, Father of Goku, and the History of Trunks, nor Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods being added to the streaming service. Yeah, they're probably not. The thing is, my guess is they're probably not keen on the idea of releasing the English subtitles or the English dubs because Vic is on there and they don't want to have anything to do with Vic. That'd be my guess. So, anyways, so that's all for the news stories we have for you. That went a little, you know. Okay, so some quickie, we'll try to burn through the wrestling news here real quickly here. So first off, we're going to talk WWE news as this Sunday, of course, or this Saturday, 2 days from now, will be Money in the Bank. This Money in the Bank this Saturday, coming from England, I believe. And of course, it will feature the men's and women's Money in the Bank matches, as well as Seth Rollins defending the WWE World Heavyweight title against Finn Balor in a battle of the bloodline. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa take on the Uso brothers. As I said, so let's look over the entire card here as soon as I can find it. Money in the Bank. Actually, before we even do that, let's prepare by looking over what's happening on SmackDown tomorrow night. Let's see if there's any. So tomorrow night, WWE Unified Tag Champions Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn defend the Unified Tag titles against Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. And Asuka defends the women's title against Charlotte Flair. So that's happening tomorrow night on tomorrow night's SmackDown. Then on Saturday in England at the O2, I believe, or Q2, WWE will be having the Money in the Bank. As we said, so the main event has Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa teaming up to take on the Usos in the Battle of the Bloodline. We mentioned the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The women's ladder match, women's Money in the Bank ladder match for the women's briefcase will involve Bayley, Becky Lynch, Io Sky, Trish Stratus, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Stark. Odds-on favorite at this point, I believe, is Io Sky, as they're looking to push her. They've been pushing a storyline where, Io Sky and Bayley may be kind of drifting apart from each other, and Damage Control may be coming to an end soon. In the men's Money in the Bank match, you have Damian Priest, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul, LA Knight, Ricochet, Santos Escobar, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, a couple of things coming out of this. Now, there are a lot of higher-ups that want to see Logan Paul win the briefcase in hopes of bringing more mainstream attention to the WWE. While the odds-on favorites are actually Damian Priest and LA Knight, as LA Knight's become real popular now. Triple H has come out and said he does not want Logan Paul to win the Money in the Bank. He's pretty much said that. He's not a big fan of the idea. So there's also been talk that Randy Orton may make his return on Saturday as well and involve himself in that match. Cody Rhodes is taking on Dominic Mysterio. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler defend the women's tag team title against former champs Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And Gunther defends the Intercontinental title against Matt Riddle. Now, on the AEW front, as we get some of the fallout from this past weekend's Forbidden Door, on last night's Dynamite saw the main event. Darby Allin and Sting defeated the Jericho Appreciation Society members of Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho. Ruby Soho defeated Alexa Nicole. Basically, originally they were going to have the Owen Hart, the last quarterfinal in the women's bracket of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. But as it turned out, Britt Baker was in fact sick. She and Adam Cole are a couple, so to still, even though not a tournament match, they still decided to have Soho wrestle, and they, just had a wrestling enhancement talent. The elite members of Adam Page and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, defeated the Dark Order of Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, and John Skyler. First time that they've been on an AEW program in a while. They'd been over Ring of Honor for a while now, feuding with the Righteous and dealing with Stu Grayson's departure. But from the looks of it, from everything I heard on WrestleMania earlier today, it looked like they may be using this as a way to kind of further the idea that they may be turning Dark Order back heel again. Now, they initially were a heel faction until, of course, the passing of the late, Brody Lee, and then they became a face faction. And now, now it would seem that they're getting ready to turn them heel again. In a 6-man tag match, international champion Orange Cassidy teamed with AAA Mega champion El Hijo del Vikingo and Limitless Keith Lee over the Jericho Appreciation Society members of Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, and Daniel Garcia. And in an opening match that was said to be a very strong, good match, Jon Moxley, to try to help the Blackpool Combat Club get back some momentum after their loss to the Elite at Forbidden Door, defeated Tomohiro Ishii. Now, later on in the night, of course, the Blackpool Combat Club, after the Elite's match with Dark Order, this is part of the reason why they're talking about Dark Order possibly becoming a heel faction, in that Blackpool Combat Club went down to beat up on the Elite, and Dark Order just continued to walk away. They didn't even go back in to help them. So we also did hear from Jack Perry on why he did what he did to Hook. Some people say that the heel turn was kind of weak. It was typical stuff. He kind of cried about how he lost in that 4-way match back at Double or Nothing, and then but some people are saying that maybe Perry is not going to work out as well as a heel as he does as a face. But I guess time will only tell, if that's true. Now, what do we have to look forward to tomorrow night for AEW fans on Rampage? Let's take a quick look at that. On Rampage here, in the main event, Claudio Castagnoli defends the Ring of Honor World Title against Commander. Hikaru Shida, who I believe is the current Regina Wave Women's World Champion, takes on Taya Valkyrie. In a rare singles match from the Blade, with the Butcher in his corner, will be taking on Shawn Spears. Isaiah Cassie and Matt Hardy will be taking on the QTV duo of Johnny TV, aka John Morrison, and QT Marshall. So that's what's going down on Rampage. And of course, on this Saturday's let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Now this Saturday's collision event, which was actually taped, which is actually being taped tonight and will air on Saturday here. Now, why that is, I don't know. Apparently, the commentary will, CM Punk will be joining Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness on commentary for that match. So here's what's slated for the show. MJF will actually be wrestling twice, so he will be wrestling Kip Morse, and then has a world title defense against Ethan Page. Anthony Henry of the Workhorsemen will be taking on Mero. Chris Statlander will be defending the TBS title against Lady Frost, a local Canadian talent. You'll have the other 3 quarterfinal matches of the men's tournament going on for the for this year's men's bracket of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. We did, if you remember, last week, over the I believe it was on Collision on Saturday. CM Punk advanced to it, and in the other three quarterfinal matches, you have Dustin Rhodes taking on Powerhouse Hobbs, Juice Robinson taking on Ricky Starks, reigniting that feud, and Roderick Strong taking on Samoa Joe. So that's what you have to look forward to with Collision this Saturday. They did tape it yesterday, but we won't talk about the results until tomorrow. Hey, JR. Hail Lord Xenu and hail Princess Xena, our one-true saviors. Yeah. That's all I have on the AEW front. If you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people here, that'd be appreciated. Also, if you have any comments and or questions, feel free to give them. I will try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. Anyways, getting back to some of the wrestling wrap up here. On tonight's Ring of Honor Honor Club. Again, I probably won't give the results till Monday. On tonight's Honor Club, taped from the Scotiabank Arena back last Saturday, to air tonight, you'll see an 8-man tag team action. Gringo Loco, Shane Taylor, and the workhorsemen of JD Drake and Anthony Henry take on the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo. Triple A Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo and Commander. The Dark Order of Alex Reynolds and John Silver with Evil Uno in their corner will be taking on the Righteous Duo of Dutch and Vincent with Stu Grayson in their corner. In a rematch from last week, Diamante will be taking on Layla Gray. Big Bill and Lee Moriarty, formerly of the Firm, will be taking on Caro and Tarek. Willie Mack takes on El Desperado. For the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions, the champions, Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona, will be defending the titles against the trios from Japan of Los Ingobernables de Japón, of Bushi, Shingo Takagi, and Hiromu Takahashi. Mark Wheeler and Vikram Prashar will be taking on Dralisco and Preston Vance of the original La Facción Ingobernable. Action Andretti, Christopher Daniels, and Darius Martin will be taking on United Empire members Jeff Cobb, Kyle Fletcher, and TJP. Shane Taylor takes on El Fantasmo. Roppongi Vice of Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero take on the House of Torture of Sho and Yujiro Takahashi. In a couple of proving ground matches, for the women's world title proving ground match, Athena takes on Casey Spinelli. And in the men's world title proving ground match, Claudio Castagnoli takes on Chuck Taylor. So for those, over the next couple of days here, for those Claudio Castagnoli fans, you have something to look forward to there. Proving ground matches are essentially they're like AEW's eliminator match. In other words, if you challenge the champion, you win, you get a guaranteed future title shot. If you lose, and you shoot right down the pecking order, as it were. So that's all we got in I do believe that actually I do believe that Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view coming up here in July. I believe that's Death for Dishonor. Let me just check that real quick here. Double check that. Yeah, Death Before Dishonor will be coming up basically 3 weeks from tomorrow on the 21st in Trenton, New Jersey. And now we will talk a little bit about Impact tonight. We'll talk a little bit about Impact Wrestling. What's going on there? As Impact will be busy over the next couple of days here, as of course this weekend they'll be down in Australia. Be doing an Australian tour down there. We'll talk a little bit about that. But on tonight's Impact, we have to look forward to here. Chris Sabin defends the X Division title against former champ Trey Miguel. Trinity takes on Jai Vidal. Kylan King takes on Masha Slamovich, and what looks to be building up a feud between the Coven and Killer Kelly and Masha Slamovich, which could lead to a Impact Knockouts World Tag Championship match between the two teams. And Kenny King takes on Yuya Uemura. All happening from Center Stage in Atlanta. This is, I think, recorded during the Summer Sizzler tour. Now, this weekend's Impact, as I said, tomorrow and Saturday, Impact Wrestling heads down under, as they will be heading over to Australia for a 2-day tour. For a 2-day tour. On tomorrow's, which will be on Fight TV, of course, you have that the Diona Purrazzo will be taking on Steph DeLander tomorrow. Slex takes on Adam Brooks. Killer Kelly will take on Aisha. Now, I've seen some of these people on, as NWA the last couple of weeks here on Power has been showing highlights of their Australian tour from a couple months back. So I've seen some of these people already. Giselle Shaw takes on Erica Reed. In a triple threat match for the X Division title, Chris Sabin defends against Frankie Kazarian and Robbie Eagles. Joe Hendry will be defending the Digital Media Championship against Eddie Edwards. In a non-title match, Impact World Tag Team Champions Ace Austin and Chris Bay take on Brian Myers and Moose. And Alex Shelley will, of course, be defending the Impact World title against Steve Macklin in Macklin's guaranteed rematch. So that's all for day one. And then scheduled for day two of the Down Under tour. From Wagga Wagga, New South Wales, Australia, the Equex Center, which I believe is where NWA also held their event. In a triple threat match, Brian Myers takes on Robbie Eagles and Adam Brooks. In a triple threat match. The team known as the Natural Classic, Stevie and Tom Philippe, take on the Velocities of Jude London and Paris De Silva. Okay. Ace and Chris Bay will be defending the Impact World Tag Team titles against former champs, the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. If Sabin and Shelley survive their matchups and retain their titles, this will be, and they can win the World Tag Team Champ. This will be the first time that all three major titles, the top three major titles in this company, I believe, will be in one faction, the Motor City Machine Guns. Joe Hendry defends the digital media title against Moose. And we all remember Dancing Moose, right? Frankie Kazarian will be taking on Steve Macklin. Killer Kelly will be taking on Steph DeLander in the main event for day 2 of the Down Under tour for Impact. Fiona Purrazzo will be defending the Knockout World title against Giselle Shaw. So quite a busy weekend here in the world of pro wrestling. I'm thankful for you guys for and all that. Anyways, now as we begin to start to wind down a little bit more here, we will go ahead and take today being Thursday, June 29th, 2023. Let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. So first off, I'm going to head back 30 years ago today. As on this date 30 years ago today, so I can get to it. On this date 30 years ago today, the 20th issue of Exo Man of War from Valiant went on sale on this date back in 1993, 30 years ago today. Sold for $2.25, with 32 pages. The story was The Consequences, and it was written and colored by Jorge Gonzalez, penciled by Paris Coronas. Tom Ryder did the inking, and the lettering was done by Rob Johnson. So 30 years ago today, the 20th issue of Exo Man of War went on sale on this date. Anyways, I'm going to go off camera here for another quick moment. I'll be right back. Alrighty then. So let's get ready to move on to the next piece of Nietzsche history as we move ahead to 2008. As on this date in 2008, the final episode of the first season of Neo Angelic Abyss aired on TV Tokyo and Kids Central over in Yumeda Company's reverse harem fantasy anime Neo Angelic Abyss would air the final episode of its first season on this date back in 2008, which was, of course, 15 years ago. So, anyways, getting ready to move on to the next piece of Nietzsche history. As on this date in 2018, we go back 5 years ago. On this date in 2018, Ring of Honor would hold its Best in the World event, its 9th annual Best in the World event from the UMBC Event Center. I believe at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. NBC. In the main event, Ring of Honor World Champion retained the Ring of Honor World Championship over Cody and Marty Scurll in a 3-way match. The same Cody who's currently in the WWE right now. The Briscoes would retain the World Tag Team titles, or the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, over the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Punishment Martinez retained the Ring of Honor World Television Championship in a street fight against Hangman Adam Page. He also had, of course, some guys from New Japan participating in the event, including Kushida, who lost to Jay Lethal. You had in what was believed to be an 8-woman tag team match, had the team of Jenny Rose, Mayu Iwatani, Sumie Sakai, and Tennille Dashwood defeat Kelly Klein, Oedo Tai, and the team of Oedo Tai of Hana Kimura, Hazuki, and Kagetsu. Flip Gordon defeated Bully Ray by DQ. In a match for the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Championship, the Kingdom, then known as a faction as opposed to a tag team, the Kingdom members of Matt Taven, TK Orion, and Vinny Marseglia, who most people know now as Vincent in Ring of Honor and Impact, defeated a trio from Los Ingobernables de Japón at the time of Bushi, Evil, and Sonata. Sonata, of course, the current IWGP World Heavyweight title. So that happened on this date back in 2018, 5 years ago today. Also on this date 5 years ago today, the Harvey Entertainment Companies, in conjunction with DreamWorks, premiered Harvey Girls Forever, originally titled Harvey Street. Another kind of updated version of some classic characters, featuring, of course, the Harvey comic characters of Audrey, little Audrey, Dot, and Lotta. Let me see. Audrey as in little Audrey. Little Audrey said, little Lotta, and little Dot. So little Audrey, little Lotta, little Dot. I guess maybe as older kids or have you. The premise of the show, which premiered on Netflix, I believe, from long kickball games through the many flavors of ice cream to an impressive climbing tree. Most days on Harvey Street feels like a weekend. Energetic Audrey, intelligent Dot, and kind-hearted Lotta are BFFs, short for best friends forever, and the street's guardians. They try to keep Harvey Street great and start their wacky afternoon adventures. So kind of in the vein of the old, old famous studios. I mean, they even have other characters making appearances, including Richie Rich, Casper. Well, apparently even the maybe, well, I guess as Crush for You, I guess Joey McIntyre, Nick Lachey, Joey Fatone, and Sean Stockman of various musical groups. So on this date 5 years ago as well, Harvey Girls Forever, originally known as Harvey Street Kids, premiered on Netflix. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. It went a little long tonight. But as it is the end of the month, I know I'm well under the 50 hours that StreamYard has for, so I'll be clearing that stuff out. But anyways, I thank everybody for being here. And don't forget, tomorrow night, of course, we will have Tim Olson will be with me as we will be doing we're going over the comics that went on sale in November 1939 from Timely Comics, now known as Marvel Comics, of course. I believe we just have the one, I think Marvel Mystery Comics. I don't know if it's number 3 or 4 we'll be reading through. But that will be the so anyways, I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.